Bienenfeld Law with Saul Bienenfeld.
We need to talk about something very important. It's about a scam that's both terrifying and deceptive, one that plays on fears and shame and confusion. It starts with a phone call from someone claiming to be a detective or a police officer, and it ends with the victims giving up their money, their personal information, both. I want you to know how it works, why it's fake, and what to do if it happens to you. Here's the setup. Your phone rings, the caller ID says it's from the police, maybe even your local precinct or the FBI. A serious voice identifies themselves as a detective so-and-so, and they tell you that they have evidence that you tried to engage in underage prostitution or something else that's very shameful. Your heart skips a beat. It's shocking. It's humiliating. It's terrifying. You could barely think straight. Then the so-called detective says, "We need to evaluate your cooperation," or "We're going to do a psychological assessment on the phone." He starts asking personal questions, making threats, and hinting that if you don't play along, you'll be arrested, exposed, or added to a sex offender registry. At some point, the real ask comes. A fine, bail, a grievance fee, a fee for the psychological test. It's usually to be paid in gift cards, cryptocurrency, wire transfers, or apps like Zelle or Cash App. And all this is supposedly to make it go away. Let's get this straight. This is a scam, 100% fake. Real police do not call you out of the blue and accuse you of a sex crime. Real detectives don't conduct psych evaluations on the phone. As a matter of fact, no one conducts psych evaluations over the phone. And no legitimate agency takes gift cards or Bitcoin to resolve charges. The FBI, the Federal Trade Commission, and the state attorney generals have all issued warnings about this exact tactic. It's called an impersonation scam. Scammers spoof caller ID, throw around scary words like child exploitation, sex trafficking, child pornography, child sex abuse material. They rely on your panic to make you comply. This scam works because it preys on your emotions: fear of arrest, fear of shame, fear of being accused of something you would never do. The brain shuts down and people go into crisis mode. And in that state, you stop to think. And you say to yourself, what's going on? I need to do this. But what you don't say to yourself is, wait a second. Why would the police call me out of the blue about this? I didn't do anything wrong. This can't be right. Red flags to watch out for. 1, unsolicited calls from law enforcement. Police don't operate that way. 2, threats of immediate arrest unless you act. Real investigations take place in person and through courts, not phone ultimatums. 3, requests for payments via gift cards, crypto, wire transfers. That's the scammer's payday. And 4, pressure not to tell anyone. That's a classic trick to isolate you. Recently, a client called me and said he was scammed, and one of the conditions was a gag order. He wasn't allowed to tell anyone, including his lawyer. And he thought that sounded odd. And thank God he called me before he sent out any money. He said, I felt very strange that they were telling me I can't even call a lawyer. That was smart of him, because it was a scam. Although he told me, Saul, it's not a scam. I believe it. I checked out the number. It goes back to the police department. I explained to him about spoof calling. It was a scam. What you should do if it happens to you, hang up. Hang up immediately. Don't give any personal information. Don't give any financial information. Don't send any money ever. Call your local police department if you want. Call directly the official number of the police department or the FBI. Report this to the FTC, the Federal Trade Commission, or you can report it on the Internet Crime Complaint Center, and that would be ic3.gov. You could fill out a form there. Scammers are going to rely on secrecy and shame. But the more we talk about these schemes, the less power they have. So if you hear someone claiming to be a detective, accusing you of crimes over the phone, remember, it's not real. It's a scam. Hang up, protect yourself, protect your family, and spread the word. Thanks for listening. Stay safe, stay smart, and I'll catch you on the next episode.